Benzagurubama Sada Shatsamburgus Ahum Jirame Sadahum Ahum Dangurubama Sadahum Benzagurubama Sadahum Di parla, dombando gola, dombando aiuta, lo si.
Page 9. Page 9. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, most excellent, I take refuge unto enlightenment reach. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, most excellent, I take refuge unto enlightenment reach. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Sanje Jidan Zojen Jonala Sanjo Barad Dane Jazem Je Dage Jinzo Je Bezonam Je Drola Bezer Zanje Drobar. Go to page 21. Page 21. Please stand aware of the Dharma of the two workers and their combination according to the disposition and likewise intercapacity of sentient beings. Sem Je Nam Je Zambada Lo Ye Ze Da Je Da War Che Chong De Mo Te Ba Ye Che Jeng Go Lo Gor Du Zo
Hong Jin Ye No Shang Zang Ba Ma Ge Zhe Dong Bo La Yang Zheng Zhe Guan Wu Zhe Ni Ba Ma Zhong Ni Ji Se Gur Dong Guan Zhu Mang Bu Gur Ji 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 Se Dao Zhu Ji Xin Ji Lao Jie Xiao Se Song Ge Re Ba Ma Se De Hong Hong Jin Ye No Shang Zang Ba Ma Ge Zhe Dong Bo La Yang Zheng Zhe Guan Wu Zhe Ni Ba Ma Zhong Ni Ji Se Kordam Gandro Mambu Gorji Ji Se Dao Zhu Ji Xin Ji Lao Jie Xiao Se Song Ge Re Ba Ma Se De Hong Jin Ye No Shang Zang Ba Ma Ge Zhe Dong Bo La Yang Zheng Zhe Guan Wu Zhe Ni Ba Ma Zhong Ni Ji Se Dong Kordam Gandro Mambu Gorji Ji Se Dao Zhu Xin Ji Lao Jie Xiao Se Song Ge Re Ba Ma Se De Hong Ma Hong Ba Zhe Ge Re Ba Ma Se De Hong Ma Hong Ba Zhe Ge Re Ba Ma Se De Hong Maung Badrangara Bama Sadong, 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 Jela Dajang Sora, Dapindi, the Soganda, Nebe Sabjos. Nadang on Bon Dapso Java, Dang Chudang, Drajin Biran Zad, Sur, Jumdan Dim Gombo, Jawara, La Jang Zalo, Kanga Lodro, Dumni, Jumjan, Namdar of Servi, Chimye, Dongan, Jibjan, Zipchirani, Dagra, Lavans. Kanda Jabe, Zora, Marumanto, Dumra, Jezarve, and Rozo, and Lava Cheta, Ala, Jujan, Danson, Dutrice, Donia, Monia, Loliki, Chozo, Jumza, Marumazar, Dumra, Nika, Jania, Jumza, Rajano, Donita, Sabjin, Dason, and the Zodiaci, the Oak, Chicha, Jadam, Jenny, Jantim, Dalu, Mazer, Jahoro, Yolanda, Omara Bazanarda, Omara Bazanarda, Omara Bazanarda. Umara Bazanardo, 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 Children Jijin Jero, was a Dalo, the Mambara Sunday, Katal Dam Jojo, Tobai, Ludu will be no Jeta Jimbo, Jordan, Yimej, Zone, Molum, Jimbo, Nabiata, Pakratang, Santu, Shamut, Tumba, DJ, Jala, Shantarlo. Atani, Namba, Tamchela, Shito, de la Kansam Jin.
So, good morning, or not good morning, good afternoon to everyone.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah.
So we are going to continue now with our teaching. So this morning, the first of the four Dharmas, turning from improper action to the true Dharma. We spoke a lot about this first Dharma.
So the
reason for why we need to practice the correct Dharma, everyone knows.
Even
though we understand the reason why we do need to practice the true Dharma, from time to time we find ourselves being unable to do so in practice. So if we find ourselves unable to do so, then we need a method to help us. Does such a method exist? Yes, there is a method or a way that exists. It entails us training our minds. If we were able to actually engage in this training, then actually it's possible to train our minds to an extremely high level or vast scope. For example, athletes who take part in extremely high-level competitions. We've all seen competitions like this. But an ordinary person, if they were to take part in such a competition, they wouldn't be able to perform at this level in any way. The reason that athletes are able to perform at this level is precisely because of their training. Aside from this training, there's no other reason. Everyone possesses a physical body.
And it's
exactly the same in terms of our minds. Our minds we need to train as well.
Teni chupate so teni kosogo teni yakboshi tap shamdang nyang jita so yakbo yo teni ngaso teni yongdur yakboshi matam kan sola maybe gimsun kangrizina teni yongdur shi tap matam re mato tele jambi gimsun chi yung mare ngaso sama simde chupare sama janjare.
The reason in terms of training our mind through practice, good practitioners, lamas, for example, the reason that they are able to cultivate loving kindness and compassion and other qualities is precisely to such a high level is precisely because of their training. That's the only difference between them and other people. In terms of our minds are exactly the same. The difference lies in the extent to which we train them.
Teni chuchujinda teni ta shepala jongder karishi gorizena teni so teni lordong namba je teni te gumgo ndo sone teni ndi Gampopa teni ranga teni te song nala teni song laure.
So to turn our selves or our minds to the true Dharma, what we really need to train in is the 4 thoughts that turn the mind from samsara, and this is something that Gampopa emphasized himself in his own commentary.
Teni lordong namba jindi nangla teni ta legimje or legimje ta te mahtok pa jamba cho nga cho mutsi nang teni the dugbo cha or teni dumur cha the so yar zandum shini teni song yores.
So within the 4 thoughts that turn the mind from samsara, aside from the karmic cause and effect, the other 3 thoughts all revolve around negative aspects of human life or suffering.
Teni tanju nika nika mahtopa jamba teniga teni dungmur te so shayore dungmur ke chate so shayores.
Or rather, with the exception of the contemplations of karmic cause and effect, in addition to the preciousness of a human rebirth, the other content of the 4 thoughts revolves around negative aspects of human life and suffering.
And this
content, which entails negative aspects and suffering, is firstly the thought of death and impermanence. And in respect of death and impermanence, it is explained very clearly how these lives of ours are extremely unreliable, unstable. They might pass from us at any moment. Because this is in reality how things are, this is how they are explained to be. So there's nothing that is said or claimed in the 4 thoughts that is not in accordance with reality. Everything is put forth as it really does exist in reality. But even though this is how things are in reality, a lot of the time in our everyday lives we don't give it any thought at all. in our everyday lives, what we tend to think about, in fact, is the opposite of this.
답변나 되니 나랑 인랑보라 시기 말에 나랑 인랑보라 대그래 되니 뒤쳇 뒤돈도 되니 다 나랑 레간들레 gond도 들레 gond도 삼네 되니 차르지만 보자네 되니 셰크요레스.
We tend to think that we will live for a long time, that we won't die for a long time. And on this basis, we think about all the things that we want to do, and we generally make a lot of plans.
charge the mambo jacareta ina tenita Tungubutola, Tenitigan charging Rambotis in Dripta Manjab, Tenite and Halepa, Tenite Zemashiva, or Tenijesi, the Martaba in Jimson Gires.
Even though we do make a lot of plans, whether or not we will actually be able to go about executing them in the long term is, in light of the fact of impermanence, very uncertain.
Then it is so correct, not so the Nima Tabra, then he Sarshota, Nyamcheta, the Sonala Yupitin, Zambalonga, Gerva Mambo, Royo Patela Tana, then he Chesa, then he Shir Zambalonga, Gerva, then not so then he Saro, then he Hako Tapkare.
By looking at the news or the TV every day or reading the newspaper, we can see for ourselves large-scale changes that take place in the world. And it's the same too if we read past history.
Then was a good Marton, the Sotama, Tolan Gera Tatamato, the Ningera Masonitini, Tamun in Dunkinz, they are married.
Whether it's politics or economy or military affairs, all of these things are constantly in a state of change. There is no situation where any of these realms stops and remains stable and unchanging for any period of time.
Then it chonchung tola not to meet Seto, that on Dabore, not so on Soa, not so at Seto, the Soyant in Gera Mambo, Royores.
And then on a much more micro level, our own lives are exactly the same. Our own lifespans, our lives are constantly undergoing many changes.
Then inside the Martak Baziji, the inside the Tela, then is Samlo, then is Tango, and Dumato, but Samlo Matana. Don't tola tinti yina, then it is Saro di Sorwanda or the Yuntuko or Marezi.
And so that's why it's necessary to give a lot of thought to impermanence, because without doing so, then even though this is in reality how things are, we won't be able to give rise to a strong feeling or recognition of this.
Then in Maung Bazi, I think that's so partana, Pejana, I think that's so. Gongmo teni shiro la lo me teni nyima ta dawa me tsu me pinis teni nga tsundi kapta karkhong sirchini shilo la tawa ta tawore chichi hako yo mari chinti tongo yo mari.
Because the future we can liken to looking out a window late at night when there's no electric lights and there's no sun, there's no moon. We look out the window and we can't see anything at all. And the reason that we can't see anything is because there are too many changes. In fact, that which we refer to as an individual lifespan is extremely short.
Tini titsutya tini petini tini garvarezi kemsarezi karizena tangaso titsuk tini chorwate yin rambos yonana yogonana ta dumur mala yogori dumur yona tini chisus chil tini titsutya rambo raw tini nangarezi chorwa.
So time is in fact a really strange thing. If we are in a state of suffering, then a period of time as short as an hour seems to extend for a very long time. However, when we feel happy and joyful, then time contracts and passes quickly. And a period of 2 or 3 days appears to be a very short time indeed. In actual fact, time is not contracting or expanding, it's simply our perception thereof. So when we feel happy or joyful, then time passes very quickly, it contracts. So it's for this reason that when we feel happy and joyful, it doesn't last for a very long time. After a small moment, it passes. So in relation to propositions like these, Buddhism has many different ways of contemplating or thinking. And if we were going to combine them into one point, we could say that there are three primary ways of thinking. So I should say that there are, in terms of the way that we can think about this, there are three parts to this process of contemplation. The first part is to think or realize that we will all one day die. If, for example, we were to take a photo of everyone in this room today and to put it on the wall, then say in 100 years, or not even 100 years, just 70 or 80 years, if people were to look at the photo of the wall, not a single one of us would still be alive. So in 70 or 80 years' time, people would look at the photo on the wall and say, oh, all of these people existed 70 or 80 years ago, and they've all passed. And in fact, that's how it would be. When we go to museums, for example, we see a lot of photos of people from 50 years ago, 80 years ago, 70, 90 years ago. And when we look at these photos of people from the past, we see only people pursuing their various interests, whether it be waging war or struggling over something, working very hard in respect of something. We don't find photos of anything else in a museum. And one day we will become like this ourselves. And this is the same for every person in the world. It is a natural law or pattern. So even though that we may know or think that one day this will happen to us, as to when exactly that day will come, none of us can say for sure. Scientists can't say, they don't know. Neither do doctors and other experts of this kind. And neither do political leaders in the world. Of course, there is a small element of very good practitioners who know when they will die. So with the exception of this small group of practitioners, everyone else only knows that one day they necessarily will die, but as to when that day will be, they've got no idea. It could be that it's next month. It's possible next year. It's also possible it might be in a couple of years' time. In any case, it won't be that our death is a long way off. So on this point, we really need to do a lot of thinking. So that is the second part of our contemplation on this. And then the third part of this contemplation entails us recognizing that one day we will die, we will no longer reside on this earth, we will be somewhere else. And we then need to turn our mind to what will be of benefit to us at this point. So there are many people buy insurance, life insurance and other kinds. And all of these various insurances that we buy are for things like when we become old, or when we become sick, or if we should encounter a sudden accident. In any case, these insurance packages that we buy are for events that might take place prior to us leaving this life. So, but when we do actually have to depart this life, what do we need at this point? What kind of insurance do we require? So by contemplating these three aspects over and over again, the strong resolution to properly practice the true Dharma will arise in our minds. And the reason for this is the insurance that we require at the time of our death is none other than the Dharma. This is the only thing that can serve as true insurance for So it's really important that we meditate again and again on death and impermanence.
Teni kapkapsang ngaso teni gumjamni teni pena nyimachila teni chiso chingrao chiso shekandao teni shini lopo shini teni chipo gumjamni titona samlo tangores.
So so from time to time we should sit down in meditation for a period of 1 hour or half an hour with a relaxed mind and contemplate this over and over.
Teni samsamsa teni ngaso teni ta shirola ta zambalonga tola teni ngerwa teni jamambo teni ndrowate teni ngaso long de nyamchini na sarsho na teni tone hakwi kapsa teni titola te samlo tangore.
And so too, when we learn about changes in the world, whether via television or newspapers, we should also think about these changes, give them thought.
Teni kapkapsa teni ngaso nyinkhorla yongkenga mo ya koranso teni charge rambo ja ta yin rambo la teni dergosam teni pamjor mambo sang teni shini teni da charge yirang jaka yongkenga mocho lower to teni ta shinroa o ngaso teni soso nyinkhorla teni mo mambo yonggo yore tesola tani samlo tangore.
And then should there be people in our very midst who make long-term plans based on living for a long time, and they accumulate a lot of wealth to affect these plans, but then die suddenly. In actual fact, this happens quite a lot. There are many people like this. When or should this happen, we should also turn our thought to this, give it a lot of thought. In times gone by, there was a person in Tibet. And he was a person who developed the ability to communicate with his Dharma protector. And he said to the Dharma protector, when I am about to die, would you please tell me a little time in advance, because I have some preparations that I need to make. And the Dharma protector said, yes, okay, I'll do that, and promised to do so.
Terang ngarang sobon tini chongban dinane tini ta yuni chongba tot tini gaboz shisong tini lamdex.
Then one day the Dharma protector came and said that at the top of the valley there is an old man who died.
Tini mati oya zinzi mati samlo chichi tamada o ta yinjiri tazendex mati.
But the person said, oh, is that the case? Oh, yes, it must be. Didn't give it much more thought.
Teni yang ni machila yoni songma de yoni ta terang aran so teni chongban dinala yang teni ta da gamu teni song de zeni teni kola lamdus.
Then a few days
gamu teni shigre zeni kola lamdus.
Shigire. And then a few days later, the Dharma protector came back and said, oh, at another part of the village, there is an old lady who is about to die. And the person responded, oya, oya, and didn't give it much attention. Then one day, the Dharma protector came and said, okay, it's time now for you to go.
Teni mati teni soma tela teni teni chora ngamani teni labio ngandro tets mandro ngona teni chora ngash teni lapshok teni zeyo teni che terang ngandro randi teni matokpa malapi jimsen chin ze teni par labares.
And the person said to the Dharma protector, I told you to inform me sometime before I die that it's my time to go. So why have you just come to me today to tell me that now is my time?
And
the Dharma protector said to him, I told you some time ago.
But the
person said, you didn't say anything to me. I didn't hear anything about this. But the Dharma protector said, I did tell you. I told you about the old man dying, the old lady dying. These were all signs for you to start preparing for your own death. So all of the various changes that are taking place in our own surrounds are in fact warnings for the changes that will take place in our own lives. But we're exactly the same as the person in this story. We don't give these signs or warning signs any thought. We just note, oh, someone died or many people died here. We don't give any thought to the question of when we ourselves will die. Within our human lives, birth, aging, sickness, death are extremely important events. And major events such as these are ones that deserve our thought. If we fail to pay proper attention to major events such as these in our lives, then in the future we'll give rise to great regret. So by contemplating on these thoughts, we will be able to give rise from the depths of our own heart a mindset to properly practice the Dharma, a realization that the opportunity to hear and practice the teachings is extremely rare, and therefore a resolution to practice them in a proper and beneficial way. And from this point onwards, we will be able to practice in accordance with the true Dharma. And we will also, at this point, naturally be able to abandon those actions, as we talked about this morning, that are not in accordance with the practice of the true Dharma. So within the ways for us to train our mind, or ways of contemplating, that is one of them. We also need to give some thought to the issue of karmic cause and effect. In the world, there are some people who are happy, some who are sad, some who are healthy, some who are not. In Buddhism, we speak of the 6 realms of cyclic existence. The beings of the 6 realms of existence do exist, but just looking in this very world around us, it is possible to see beings who are very similar to those that occupy the 6 realms. After we die, we will necessarily take a new rebirth. This is something that those who have been practicing Buddhism for some time probably have a good understanding of or a good conviction in. But it's likely that people who have not been involved in Buddhism for a terribly long period of time, or those who might have been involved in Buddhism for a long time but haven't been able to study well, will have doubts about what happens after we do die. In actuality, however, that after we die we will take a new rebirth is not something that we need to have doubt about. This absolutely will take place in fact. And there are a lot of reasons or explanations or evidence to support this. However, due to the fact that we don't have so much time today, we won't go into them. So everyone should consult other sources and study from other sources what the reasons are that support reincarnation and rebirth. Just simply believing without knowing any of the corroborating reasons is a kind of faith that we refer to as blind faith. And having blind faith without understanding any reasons is mistaken. However, to say that all faith is blind faith, this is also a mistaken view. So when we clearly understand the reasons or explanation, and on this basis give rise to faith, then this is what we describe as faith underpinned by wisdom, or wise faith. And this is not blind faith. Faith in Buddhism really means belief. And this belief or trust requires a clear understanding of reasons.
Teni Gimson maybe gone teni ta mujamba so teni rezina oda ngarang yensare samne yichi jaba teni yichi chiore teni yichi nidos.
So there is one kind of belief or that is based on a clear understanding of reason. There is another kind of belief which is just the kind where other people say something and we accept it to be true. This is a different kind of faith. We can say that there are two kinds.
Teni Gimson machine teni tapashi deati yabu maresoni tela nanchu nala kyun mambo jokore.
The kind of faith that is not underpinned by reason is not good. In fact, it's criticized a great deal in the Buddhist tradition.
Teni Gimson mambo yona yang teni tarung yang Gimson teni mambo yopa hakona yang tarung acho kelin machina teni tela utsuk zeore. Utsuk zena ako.
Go. Die mütten de Josona jigraba. Dale darong jongs mütten de.
Tela mantakyor mar takor jigsonwa gar Gimson jiang teni machine teni ta kadimari Gimson yopa te shina yang tarung yang teni kelin machina teni tela utsuk zegres teni ten jigson.
However, understanding, notwithstanding having an understanding. Hang on, how should I put this? However, even if we understand the reasons for things, but still do not accept them, then this is just stubbornness.
Teni utsuk jamni teni shide na teni yaboyo marese. Aso sama Gimson kalayo nilug kalayo te tani teni tanti nilug do te Gimson do teni samna teni aso te tanglin chegore teni shina yabores.
But just remaining in this state of stubbornness is not good. If we know the reasons for something, if we understand the logic, then we should accept it.
Teni indi teni tangaso de Mushui Gini, Yanker Gatso teni tarung kia leya tela, teni Gimson teni mambo yores.
So that after we die, we take rebirth is something for which there are many explanations and reasons.
Teni Gimson te so tamche so rang teni shapa jav teni lojong chi shapa jav rang samlo tana teni yapo teni ha koyongre.
And if you for yourselves study, learn, analytically examine what you learn, then you will arrive at an understanding of this too.
Teni tindi indi pena ngaso mutang teni chokchak pena tendrun rao o teni ki park teni mjerwa te kandis yen teni ngaso shertang mi shige omares.
The connection between humans and animals is something that ordinary people don't understand.
Teni ngaso namjini namjerwa che me pandrao teni tonggo yorese ta ngaso moi na merje teni tendro na tendro teni mjerwa me rao samne teni samgo yorese.
And many people think that there is no connection. They think that humans are humans and animals are animals, and there is no real connection between them.
Yena teni ki nalam jerwa kanti yozena teni ngaso ta sani teni jini shini yang teni kewa shilimbi kapsa yang ngaso mu kewa lengre yang na teni tendro kewa lengre teni te o ta thak ganga chogo rezena teni tata ngaso shawa yakpo le male dungpo le male ti thak chogo rez.
However, as to or what decides whether we, if we die tomorrow, take rebirth in human or animal form, this hinges on the actions that we commit now, whether they are positive or negative. So things like this we should from time to time also think about.
Teni ngaso mushik teni shini tendro rendoya tang teni tendro chik shini teni mu teni rendoya te teni tsawani musipa teni maris.
It's not impossible that a human may die and be reborn as an animal, or that an animal may die and be reborn as a human. It's far from impossible.
This secret of life, there are many secrets that we have no understanding of. So because of this, we really should think about what would happen if I really were to die and be reborn as an animal. This is something that we should think about. Shikyuni, Shikip Sakola, shit the condition, she doesn't hako Mars. So
right now, as we exist on Earth, we don't have a comprehensive knowledge of the Earth. Or rather, when we are standing on the Earth, we can't perceive or see the Earth in its entirety. However, if we were to stand on the moon and look back on the Earth, then we would be able to see it as a whole. In just the same way, we are all presently in this cyclic existence.
So
and because we are currently where we are, we don't have an overall or comprehensive understanding of what the entirety of cyclic existence is like. But by giving it some thought, we will be able to generate belief in the fact that even though this particular human life of ours may be very short, our greater, or this lifespan may be very short, our underlying life or life force is endures for a very long time. And so we should think about this. We should also think in the context of our own lives and the people in our own lives about the suffering they experience. When we exist as we currently do in a place where there is no earthquakes or floods or wars or epidemics, we tend to think that this opportunity we have to exist happily as we do is something that will continue to be there tomorrow and the day after. We think that tomorrow will be similar to today. And we think that next year will be similar to this year.
직시나 되니 다 다와 지마당 다와 드니가 나라 되니 남당 산다고 되니 여와 로요나 로나 하고 말이죠.
However, we can't say for sure whether or not this month or next month some changes will take place.
Tadi ini penata ngaso tadi zambalang ke penata mak jam din tercin din terba mampu jam kebikam jauh yang na naim yopa yang na meki yoa oh tadi kawla penata ini ta ngakati tikap tela yona tadi kang di insare samne tela samlo tanggores.
So we really should think about what would it be if war were to erupt, or conflict were to happen, or an epidemic were to break out. What would that be like?
Tadi ngaco mucho namjin ketini samlo tang sertepe le laboshini samlo tang ni. Tang ngaco mukeng holam thoya sipo ndapo matoba. The
usual or habitual way that we go about looking at things is extremely simplistic. We tend to only really take into account that which we can immediately see in front of us. Our way of thinking is far from long-term or deep in scope.
Tani tinji samlo tang la tela tani mambo tani gabushi kya mares.
Gabushi kya mares?
Gabushi kya mares tani samlo tang jitela.
Oh, chuk tani samsudela.
Nge samsar tari tani samlo tang jitela gag mares macho.
Nang chuk tani samlo tang.
Nang chuzi matari nge kongla tani samlo tani tang gondi jeswa martak bata teso tani samlo tang serte mambo gag mares tani samlo tang sertela. But
many people don't like at all this way of thinking, which focuses on negative things or suffering. That which we do regard as extremely important and pay a lot of attention to is our current lives. And if immediately something takes place and makes our life in our life that makes it good, then we identify that as good.
Teni indi teni ngasola teni lamsang teni ngasola chorwa yakpo yongyan rata ta teni perna teni tamu taya ta teni nawa teni janya ya teni leka mambo yo tsola tana ngaso tela gaw yore te pe yakpo re samne chama tinala teni yang ni teni yore.
So those experiences that give us immediate feelings of gratification, whether it be through watching particular displays or listening to particular sounds, these are the things that everyone likes and concentrates on.
Yena jangrangbola teni samlo tana ngasola ngoni tane ga mtsega na la phantoyati tani teni ga samlo te tang zapon da tang ya teri.
However, insofar as what will be of long-term benefit in our lives, it is the more deep and profound way of thinking. Of course, there's nothing wrong with having a bit of leisure in our lives or listening to a little bit of music to make things pleasant. However, from time to time, we should give some thought to these major events in our life that we talked about before. So, in fact, we need both things. We need both aspects.
recommend Sambanda, then some location.
By thinking about issues such as suffering and impermanence, then we will give rise to a thought in our mind that it is necessary for us to be diligent, for us to work hard, that it's not okay just to exist as we currently do.
Martak bayung mare, tini ngarang yin rambo, tini degre, tini nga lo jadegre, lo jada ngapcin degre, tini lo jada ngapcin tina la ngarang kepo yung gore, lipo kepo yung gore, sem kepo yung gore, tini samne martak ba mare yin rambo re samdena, soso sora kepo yung jire.
Of course, if we don't think about impermanence, if we think that we will live for 100 years or maybe 150 years and that we will be happy throughout this time in both our bodies and our minds, that there is no impermanence and so forth, yes, this does produce a good feeling, a happy feeling. However, this way of thinking is self-deception.
Tini yang ngaso ta ngaso chua te tini ta kepo yung gore maung ba na tele jang tini kepo yung gore ta kepo tang demo tang tini mato yo mare tini samni tisho la tini samlo tang dena te yang rang su sem guna la tini chora kepo ro yung ya la pantok yoris.
Pantok yoris. Of course, thinking that life is happy, that in the future it will be even more happy, that in fact there is nothing but happiness, is of some benefit. Even though the benefit might be that of producing a good or happy feeling, in actual fact one is tricking or deceiving oneself. So what we really need to do is confront reality as it is. If we don't accept reality as it is, but rather think that everything is good and happy, it might produce a positive feeling, but in actual fact it's of no benefit. Just simply thinking that everything is good and happy and dwelling in this positive feeling is just the same as taking drugs. When one takes certain kinds of drugs, a happy feeling is produced, various kinds of hallucinations take place. But to live in the midst of such illusions really has no meaning whatsoever. So it's necessary for us to contemplate in very deep terms what the nature of cyclic existence is, what the nature of our very lives is. So many people, without giving thought to any of these things, just existing in their current lives in a very simple or